Hey Mom, can I have a quarter? Hey, Fragorn here with another video build guide for Path of Exile 3.26. Um, I just keep making builds. I keep finding stuff that I like and want to try. This one's not anything too special, just something I've had in my mind to play at some point. Basically testing it out as a league starter for next league, and it's working really well. It's kind of a cool build. So what I'm doing is strength stacking. It's one of my favorite archetypes. I've done it at least once with a character pretty much in every league for the last few years. Um, Chaos versions with the replica Alberons, fire versions with Brutus. Both of those work really well. So I'm doing fire this time. A nice cheap character again. I spent a little bit of money on some decent corruptions, but I mean not. We're talking like maybe 5, 6 divines for in this build. Not nothing like 50 or anything like that. Very cheap. Nothing you couldn't start as a league starter without the corruptions for less than a divine, maybe 2, something like that. So three at the most, depending upon how unlucky you are getting your chest 6 linked. So standard strength stacking, how this works in Path of Exile 1 is you look for a item that has flat damage because of how much strength you put on. So Alberons gives you flat chaos, and Brutus Lit Sprinkler gives you flat fire. I'm using Brutus, so a lot of strength gives me a lot of flat fire damage. You typically use Crown of Eyes on an attack build, which is a helm that converts strength bonus for melee damage, which is only for physical. You get 2 per 5. No, you get 1 per 5, 1% per 5. Normally, physical damage increase bonus from strength. When you convert it to spell damage, you can use any kind of damage. So that's how it works with fire. And then Crown of Eyes gives you 150% of the bonus. So I'll show you that when I look at my gear here. Kind of talk about these pieces and why I'm using them. So we're on Crown of Eyes. I'll just go over this piece. So how this helps you is increases and reductions to spell damage apply to attacks at 150% of their value. So once you've converted the damage you're doing to spell damage, it doesn't care if it's physical, chaos, fire, whatever. It all gets the bonus. And you do that with the Iron Will keystone right here. Strength bonus applies to all spell damage as well. And strength normally gives you 1% melee fizz per 5. Well, the chest piece we use buffs us as well with this. It's the Iron Fortress. Strength damage bonus instead grants 3% melee per 10. So it's a 50% increase. Instead of getting 1 per 5, which would be 2 per 10, you now get 3 per 10. Gives you a lot of flat strength. It doesn't have a life modifier on it, so you can use the nice life mastery on the tree for 15%. That's very good. It gives you a lot of chance to block attack damage because you get 1% per 50 strength. So high armor, not super high, but high enough. It does have the drawback of some reduced movement speed. So anyway, that is Crusader Plate, the Iron Fortress. Good stuff. Brutus's Lead Sprinkler is a weapon. So the flat damage comes from this. 4 to 7 fire damage, 2 attacks with this weapon per 10 strength. So at 100, you're going to get 40 to 70. At 1,000, you're going to get 400 to 700, so on and so forth. So lots of flat damage. I'm at like 1,400 right now for strength. Not super high. Haven't invested a ton. People have gotten to 2,500 strength. Maybe even 3,000 if you're really spending, and I'm talking mirrors and mirrors and mirrors worth of gear to get to those levels. But relatively cheaply, you can get to 2,000 pretty easily, and for sure 1,800. So I've gotten my strength characters to right around 2K very easily and relatively cheaply. You can do it with the replica Iron Commander bow too. Also is a nice weapon for strength stacking. Get like 15 totems and a bunch of strength and just mow through content. It's a great build. So that's the weapon. Like I said, I got good corrupts. The regular corrupt on here is increased elemental damage, which doesn't hardly add any because you're getting so much from this, like 600% increased damage from this and the Iron Will, converting your strength to spell, and this giving you 150%. So this extra crit is really nice. I crit very, very frequently. Amulets are usually good for attribute stackers. There's the Astromentus, which is just flat, really good, like 100 all 3 attributes. I usually don't get that one when I'm stacking. I like to have some more beneficial stats. This was pretty cheap. I think I got this for like 40 chaos or something. Really nice buffed armor. The mana doesn't hurt because I need mana to spend my abilities. I'm not paying with anything else. So really nice crit multi, and I'm a crit build. The spell damage gets 150%, so that gets another 50 on top of it, so it goes up to like 40. Not quite 38 or something. Big strength roll, big all attributes roll, and then a big strength roll on the implicit. So, and then I almost always use the oils to put on practical application on my strength stacking builds, just because you get 10 all elemental and 20 strength. So that's a really nice chunk right there, and it's very cheap. It's a couple of clears and a purple or something. Shields. I'm a totem build, so I have the nice Shaper shield with +1 to maximum totems. Good armor rolls on this. Nice bonus with reduced crit strike. Nice strength roll, and then I got mana reservation efficiency. I think I probably paid a divine for this shield. It's got everything I want, so very good. You're noticing I'm not having a lot of extra life rolls on my stuff. You don't need it because you're stacking strength. You get so much life. So I'm at 4,100 life with hardly any life rolls on my gear. Rings. So these are a nice little hack. They're not the best rings. There's way, way, way better strength stacking rings than this. But these are all over the place after just a couple of weeks into the league. So they give you everything you need. A little rarity never hurts to find better drops. A little all res is really nice. So between these two rings, I'm getting almost 50% all elementals, which is nice. Increased damage is fine. Doesn't really help. I already have so much. Nice attribute roll, so getting a little strength. But then the corruptions are super easy to find with the 5 or 6% increased strength, and then one other attribute on here. So just nice all around super cheap rings. I probably paid 10 chaos for these or something. They were cheap. How am I a totem build on a melee character? Dawnstrider. It's the only melee totem piece of gear left in the game. It's one of my all-time favorites. This is crazy cheap, even with the good corruption of 1 endurance charge. I think I paid 40 chaos for this. Good life roll, good movement speed roll, little damage reduction because your damage is taken from totems before you. Like I said, I got the max endurance charge, so I'm on a juggernaut with the +1, and then I got this, so I have 8 endurance charges. It's extra tankiness never hurts. So my gems are socketed by level 25 Earthbreaker, and that's an old support gem that's no longer in the game. It was taken out a couple of patches ago. The only place you can get melee totems is Dawnstrider, so they can only use slam skills. Socketed slam gems supported by level 25 Earthbreaker, which means Earthbreaker is a totem that uses the slam skill, and since it's level 25, it's like having a 5 link in here, basically. Actually even a 6 link, because you get the totem link and then you get buffed up to 25, which would be like having a mega empower on it. So it's really, these are really, really, really good. Super cheap, always available. They drop from like the fireball guy boss, so everybody gets these at some point in the league, or everybody kills that boss, and so tons of these drop right away in the first couple days. Very cheap, always cheap. 1C probably for no corruption on these. Belt. I always use a magnate. I look for the good corruption with 6% increased strength. This is another fantastic belt, another good all elemental resistance roll. So between the 2 rings and this, pretty much covers my resistances. I do use Purity of Elements too. I just like it for this build. Nice double damage with 200 strength, a nice triple damage with 400. So you got that adding a ton of just random damage that just comes in at who knows when. but very good. And gloves is one of my other rares, so not too many rares in this build. 3 for me. I like my fire exposure. I like increased crit chance. I like flat strength. I needed fire resist because this hat lowers your fire resist by 30. So you might have to pick up some extra fire res somewhere. So I did it here. I needed a little chaos resistance, and I picked it up here. So I don't have very good chaos resist. Something like 20 is it. So that's the gear. Now the gems. What am I using to make this work? Leap slam with faster attacks is my movement. It's my favorite movement combo in the game. Just so nice for just hopping up and down walls and just getting around quick. And it's a one button that does it all. I have a golem just for a little more life regen. That's how my recovery comes, from life regen. It's not great. I think I'm at like 300 or 400 or something like that. 400. So I am a juggernaut, so it gets much higher when I start taking damage, but for now that's what it's at. So in my Crown of Eyes, I have Smite, and you might be saying, hey, you have Dawnstrider, so you get Ancestral Bond, you don't do any damage. Why are you using Smite? Because I still apply the buff. I can still get the 10 to 195 added lightning damage whenever I hit a Smite, and that applies to my totems, so it gives it just a nice chunk of flat lightning damage to my totems. I have it linked with increased critical strikes, Stormbrand, and power charge and critical. So on bigger fights, I'll just chuck a Stormbrand down, drop a Smite down. I'll be topped off on power charges, of which I have 4 because I have max power charge on my helmet. And this was a little bit more expensive as a corruption 2, probably 50 chaos for this instead of the 5 or 10 you'd pay for a normal Crown of Eyes. So anyway, I generate power charges with Smite and Stormbrand. Very easy peasy. In my totem, so what am I doing with my Earthbreaker? Right now I'm using Earth Shatter if I'm hitting a heavier boss. That's what I was just killed a boss a second ago, so sometimes I'll switch this out for more damage. Earth Shatter is a cool skill. It puts out the fissures. The fissures all have spikes. Whenever you war cry, they go off. I war cry a lot, as you'll see in a second when I show you my chest piece. Normally for clearing, I use this awesome new skill that's available in Merc League only, Sunder Tarthus. This thing just goes crazy all over the place. It's a huge AoE, fantastic clearing skill. I link it with element of damage with attacks because I'm doing all fire because of the flat fire from my Brutus's Let Sprinkler. So you can see right here on the Sunder Tarthus, 43k to 75k fire damage, a little bit of physical, and then I add in a nice chunk of extra lightning whenever I hit with my Smite. Crit and crit. So I think I'm at 75% chance to crit with no power charges up. So dang near 100% when I get my power charges all up on that, my main totem attack. However, that is not even my main attack in this build. This is the trick that I've never done before. I've played this Dawnstrider build before with Volcanic Fissure Snaking as the main attack and loved it. And I kept it in here. I'll show you how I did it. So in my chest, here's where the magic happens. General's Cry. I've figured out that you can still do General's Cry damage even though you have Ancestral Bond. It doesn't count as you attacking. So your General's Cry does full damage even with Ancestral Bond. So I have 2 6-links going in this build basically. A pseudo 6-link in the boots. We already talked about how it's kind of like a 6-link. With a really nice slam skill on 3 totems because I have the extra totem from this, the extra totem from Ancestral Bond, and then my own totem. So General's Cry linked with Auto Exertion. So this goes off constantly, and let's see if I have the math here. My General's Cry goes off every 1.5 seconds, which is super nice. And that creates a general, sometimes up to 5, I think is the maximum. So if you're buying any elite or a rare or a unique with a lot of power, just a unique, excuse me, not a rare, you get a huge buff to your power, and you'll summon a whole bunch of Mirage Warriors. So lots of these guys going off. They're casting Volcanic Fissure is snaking. You got to get this with 20 quality because that gives you the extra chain, the extra eruption. So this is how you're going to hit 2 or 3 times pretty much every time this goes off on a single target, because it'll hit them, it'll go out, erupt, bounce back, hit them, go out, erupt. So with the extra bounce backs, the 3 times, you have a very good chance to get 2 and sometimes 3 hits on a single target with Fissure of snaking. Very good skill. The other skill you can use on this that's just outstanding with my build, because this does not benefit from attack damage or attack speed, sorry. And I do have quite a bit of attack speed being a Juggernaut, and I'll show you more on that when I get to the Ascendancy. So this just hits once. It goes off. It counts as 1 off. So attack speed doesn't really benefit Volcanic Fissure snaking. A lot of people will use General's Cry with Blade Flurry if they're using a sword, dagger, or a claw, because it's very good for that, because it'll quickly ramp up to the 6 stages and then pop if you have decent attack speed, so you can actually get to the 6th stage, where your biggest damage is. But another trick is to use Charge Dash. Also benefits from attack speed. Charge Dash shoots a moving fake character projection of you, and the faster you attack, the more little mirages are created. So you attack slow, you might create 4. You attack fast, you might create 6 or 7. They all can pop off with a little AoE. They do more damage the more that are created. So I think Charge Dash is actually better single target damage. I haven't really tested it yet, but I know it's very good. I haven't bought a level 2120 Charge Dash. You can get one for 5 KS, so I will do that at some point and test it on some of these Guardian bosses or something like that to feel the difference. So Fissure Snake is just outstanding for clear. That's why I'm using it, and it's decent single targets. Gives me everything I need. I feel like right now when I switch out Earth Shatter to Sunder of Tarathis, my single target's great with Earth Shatter, so I've just been making that one switch. Again, linked with crit because I'm crit, so this is also at almost 100% chance to crit when my power charges are up. In the shield, I have the reservation efficiency, so I got purity of elements, clarity. I'm just literally spending and regenerating my own mana, and just flesh and stone. There's not super great auras for this build, so I just like this one because it gives you a little nice damage reduction. So I keep it in Sand Stance for the damage reduction. I don't care about doing more physical damage. Gloves, I have Molten Shell. I only use the Veil version of this. I don't care about the guard skill otherwise. Enduring Cry, just to help me keep up my endurance charges. Desecrate, you need the corpses for your General's Cry to work, so I use a Desecrate to spawn some corpses. And they don't consume the corpses like a lot of other skills that need corpses. So once you drop a couple of these by the boss, the 10 corpses are just there forever. So the whole fight, your General's Cries will be going off. And I'll do a quick map and show you what's going on. And then I'm using Assassin's Mark. I don't have the right Merc yet for this guy. I want a fire one that applies Covered in Ash. So there's a melee one that does that, and I think there's one that applies flammability too. So I'd get the ring for double curse on my Merc and have flammability and Assassin's Mark. Also the Wanderer, the Arcanist guy, I think is what they're called. I can't remember. Kineticist. They apply elemental weakness, which would also be a good one, and I think they do some other cool buff, like give you a rallying cry buff or something like that. I just haven't found one that I want, so I'm using one of my Mercs that's designed for other people, my Cold Bow Merc, which I'll show you in a second too. Flasks, I just use a crit one. Jade, my chaos resistance stinks, so I just use a chaos one, and then an armor flask, and then I clear my corrupting blood here. So, I could even throw it all. Yeah. Little bonus there. Okay, so pretty cool little build. 6 link General's Cry, Volcanic Fissure of Snaking, pseudo 6 link Totem, Sunder of Thrasis. So let's look at the tree a little bit here. Already talked about how you need Iron Will. That's mandatory. So Ascendancy, I'm a Jug. My favorite class by far. Free tankiness. Strength stackers, this is your first node. If you're stacking strength, you take this in your first lap. Fixes all your accuracy problems instantaneously. So at level 35 or 3 or 2 or whenever you do your first lab, bam, you're 100% chance to hit for the rest of the game if you're stacking strength. So it gives you flat 500, which takes care of you even when you don't have a lot of strength, and then 1% increased attack speed per 150, and you gain accuracy equal to twice your strength. So if I'm at 1500 strength, I get 3000 accuracy from this. It's 3500 accuracy because you get the 500. So my accuracy right now, 6229. So I get a nice chunk of increased attack speed from that accuracy rating. Second thing, you want endurance charges if you're a Juggernaut. That's kind of their bread and butter for defense. I take this one second. It gives me a chance to get endurance charge every time I've been hit. So I'm almost always running at 8. Gives me the bonus 1. I get another bonus 1 from my boots. Then I take life regen. This is very nice. Get you 40% increased life regen rate. And the big 1.5% of physical damage prevented from hits in the past. Taken regenerated as life. So that bumps up. So right now I'm just resting at like 400, but when I start taking a little damage, it'll go up to 700 to 800 pretty easily. It's not the best recovery character, but it's such a safe playstyle with the totems and the General's Cry. I don't ever have to stand still. It's really cool. And then I just take the increased armor and a little bit of chaos damage reduction from armor. So could go either way with this one too, but my chaos resist stinks so bad. I really wanted this small node, so just went with this one. So may not have been the best choice. I guess it doesn't really matter. So you can see that I have some darker and some lighter lines. That's because of split personalities. So I want to have a long path to where I put those in. And if you don't know split personalities, they're a jewel that gives a bunch of flat statistic of some kind. There's a lot of different types: dexterity and intelligence, armor, accuracy, whatnot. I have armor and strength. So I have 2 of these. It's the max you can have. So you get more strength, more flat strength, depending upon how far away they are from your starting location. So that's why I want a path all the way around and all the way up. So I have 2 of these up here. So this one's giving me 42 strength, 340 armor because of the 30 allocated passives between this one and its starting location. This one's giving me 45 strength and 360 armor because of 32. So over 80 flat strength right there just from those 2 guys, and 700 armor. So very nice. My jewel that's mandatory is a medium totem one. You must have Sleepless Sentries if you're playing any kind of totem build. It gives you a free onslaught. So as soon as I drop a totem, I get onslaught for 4 seconds, which is 20% increased cast speed, attack speed, and movement speed. All around fantastic. I have this available to take too if I decide to, but my totems are not dying much, so I haven't bothered. For your large cluster, you want spell damage. It's the best thing because it gets 150% of its value. So this is actually every small node is 15% increased spell damage, which is good. I needed chaos resistance and I needed strength. So I just bought a level 84 spell damage jewel for like 10C that had some crappy notable on it, like practice caster or something. Took it over to my hideout, spammed a handful of scours and orbs of binding on it till I hit something I liked. So this had 3 stats that I was fine with: a decent chunk of extra flat evasion, a really nice strength roll, and then a decent chaos roll. So very cheap to make this. You could also spam chaos in with life force from the harvest and just wait until you get a decent chaos roll and a good strength roll at the same time and call it good. So there's not any notables that you care about really. So I have all these allocated. It's an 11 passive and just gives me the really good stats. Lots of chaos resist and lots of flat damage and lots of flat strength. Pop down here for the extra strength node. So I'm crit build, so I take this mace stuff. All my mace damage can chill, which is nice, so that's helpful for defense. Just this little line through here is all crit for maces. Very nice. I take a few life nodes because I have so much flat life. I want a little bit of increased life. I take this reservation just so I have enough mana to cast these constantly and regen back. I do have a lot of jewels in this build. Every chance I get, I take one because you can get such good value. I have all my endurance charges. So here's what I'm looking for in jewels: a high strength roll and a nice offensive one. So crit multiplier with one-handed melee weapons, that's me, and 10 all res, that's just an all-around good jewel. The block spell damage is fine, but I wanted 3 good stats on all my jewels basically. Cheap too. I probably got this for 15 chaos or something. Another one, flat strength, a little extra totem damage, and then I must have needed more cold and lightning resistance. So I was looking for strength and lightning and cold resistance. I talked about Iron Will, just more increased life. Here's bread and butter of the build. You must have this if you're on a General's Cry. 35% cooldown recovery rate of Warcry, and then 15 cooldown, 15 cooldown, and 12 cooldown. So this little stretch right there is fantastic. And then since I'm warcrafting every 1.5 seconds, I threw this on there too for a little life recovery. More crit and reduced crit damage. So between my shield and this one, I have like 60% reduced crit damage. Really nice. This is just a good melee crit wheel. Like I said, all my endurance charges, I have them. This is a nice strength wheel. I get really good increased and big flat strength, and then more increased attributes. So between my belt and this wheel and the rings, I have like, I don't know, 10 from the rings, 6, 16, 8, put me at 24, and 5. So I have almost 30% increased strength, which is not the best. To really min-max this build, you'd want to use a Lethal Pride jewel with a bunch of increased strength on it. Put it somewhere here, or here, or here, and look for all the notables in the area that give you a bunch of increased strength. It's pretty easy and cheap to get one with like 4 or 3. Really hard to get one with 5. So if you want to learn how to use timeless jewels, Maxroll website has really good guides on timeless jewels. I would go to that and take a peek. More crit chance for melee right through here. Crit multi, very nice. Get the maim, so that's really nice. More increased life and life regen. Same here, increased life and life regen. And another nice jewel. This one's really good. Got life regen, got mana regen, got stun avoidance, and a big flat strength roll. So very good. So you can see I'm at 14, 15 strength. So very nice flat bonus from Brutus. Very nice increased damage bonus from Crown of Eyes and Iron Will. So that is the build. That's how it functions. Tooltip damage right now is pretty good. Got 225 on my 3 Sunder of Trathis totems. Just 61 on my Volcanic Fissure Snaking, but this just goes off like mad, so it's not really that low. It's much higher. You'll see this when I play what happens. So let's see, I got all my auras active. I have 4 active auras. Yep, because auto exertion is an aura. I'm just gonna run a strand map. Oh, put this in and activate it quick. Like I said, my mercenary's not good. I'm using this, my cold bow guy, which I really like. But it's not really designed for this character. I use this with a spellcaster because the attacks inflict unnerve, which I really like. Um, I like the immortal flesh in there because it makes them regen so much better. This is a fantastic quiver to go with cold mercs because you get enemies chilled by this person's hits have damage taken increased by chill effects. So you get like a shock out of the chill, and this guy will do 15% chills very easily. Chills enemies dealing 75 more damage. Shaper Seed, which is just nice to give more regen to the allies, so I get more regen from this. And then I use the worst bow ever, the Neuros Harp. I just love this bow with this merc because it's high crit chance, which I want to do because I want her to freeze enemies. It also has a chance to create chilled ground when I freeze an enemy, and you saw that I get more damage out of the chill effect. When she shatters an enemy, which is constantly on the little whiteys and the weaky blue mobs and stuff, consecrated ground gets dropped there. 30 percent 1% increased effective chilled ground and 36% increased effective consecrated ground. So she's just providing a lot of nice utility. How do I get her to do damage and actually chill and freeze? I get her wearing Hiri's Ire, so she gets a bunch of flat added bow damage, but really nice chance to suppress spell. She's got more chill duration, just all around good stuff. I threw a rat's nest on her that I had laying around for more crit chance, just all around really good. So she crits quite a bit. Just have this for defense, and again for defense. Got her maiming too. And I have her dropping brittle ground, so she's making more chance to crit. So this one's really designed for a different character. But like I said, I haven't found my best fire support merc for this guy yet. This one does just fine. It's kind of a great all-arounder for me. So here we go. We're going to hit our strand. Oh, Atlas strategy. What I'm doing is taking a break from spending scarabs right now, so I'm running a non-scarab Atlas strategy just for a little while I'm leveling this character up. Doing orange altars, looking to find as many scarabs as possible. I have the good ones for cartography and ambush marked. I quickly try to kill a boss and get a good chance to drop more scarabs, more chance to drop Conqueror maps, Elder Guardian maps, and Synthesis maps. The main strat on here is Delirium. So I have pretty much all the Delirium nodes. My main currency generation is selling the Delirium orbs. And we'll see what I get. Like I said, this is just a kind of like a 6 or 7 mod rare map with nothing on it except for probably some chisels. I don't think it's going to be at all hard. And we'll see how fast we can clear this. So I drop my Desecrate, and that starts my General's Cry. You can see my Volcanic Fissure snaking going off all over the place. And that just keeps going and going and going. Oh man, I got green altars turned on by accident somehow. Oh well. I'm bouncing back and forth between Strand and Geode. Both are good maps for Delirium. Strand is the best, and Geode's pretty good. Your starting area and the boss are on opposite ends of the map. So you can see my damage is going all over the place. Anything good? Nope. Don't care about this extra content that's not part of my tree, so I'm not going to do this harvest. I do have a Harvest Atlas set up as well, which I really like. Orbs are garbage. So I'm not generating any power charges right now. I'm just keep going along. I have that in my control swap, so I can put a couple out and see how fast I got to 4 instantaneously. Damage with all that going on is 300. I think I must have Enfeeble on me or something. Frost Ambusher. He doesn't drop anything, but I'll take him just for fun. So you can see my big single target's not super good here. Let's see if I can improve that. Oh, I killed myself switching gems. Oh well, you can die. I mean, you're pretty tanky, but you're not in. It's not an immortal build. It doesn't have like big block or anything like that. So now I'm doing Earth Shatter. I'll leave that on. Show you what it's like on the boss when I get there. Oh my gosh, terrible drops. Just terrible. No orbs, no nothing. You can see how much faster he goes down now that I have the Earth Shatter on there. It's way better single target damage than the Sunder of Thrasis. And if I switch to Charge Dash level 2120 on my, instead of my Volcanic Fissure snaking, it would go even higher. It would be very respectable single target damage. Don't care about the Legion. Oh, that was terrible luck to die on that. To die to that Merc. So these guys should be melting down pretty quick. This guy must be very tough. Oh yeah, I have Enfeeble. Because this does not normally take this long. Not bad. Kind of makes up for my bad luck on the Delirium mirror. So let's see here. So what I normally want to get out of Delirium is the orbs. That's good find. That's worth 10-15 chaos. I could make that good. I'm kind of betting on myself here with this little strat. So Alice strategy 1 is my harvest. I'm not doing crop rotation. I just use this, and then I use a doubling harvest thing to get tons of harvest. I don't know how much I got right now, but I usually have quite a bit. Just a handful. I must have sold a bunch. So this sells like crazy. It's always good. I also use it with this atlas on my third atlas for Delirium because I get lots of nice jewels. And then what I'll do is just take one over. Like, which one did I just find? This one right here. Okay, I'll take it over after I make it rare. And I'll go, let's see if somebody wants a little chaos resist or something on there. Well, they won't care about chaos resist on this one. We'll just go with cold. Brood for potency, meh. Deep chill's a good one. 5 intelligence, 20 in armor. Yeah, this is not bad. I could sell this probably for 10-15 chaos just like that with 2 clicks. So yeah, I could click a few more times and go for two good there we go, exposure therapy and circling oblivion. So this will sell for probably 15-20 chaos very easily just with a couple of clicks. So I find them in there, sell them when I want to. Let's see here, lightning damage one with 12. Cool. Let's see what it does. Oh, I got disorienting display and thunderstruck without even hitting anything. Wow. That's not gonna sell. Not as a 12er. But let's hit it with a couple of these and see what we get. Oh, Doriani's lesson and thunderstruck. No, I can do better. What I really want is good rolls with no notables on this one. Too bad that's low. Anyway, that's kind of what I do with that stuff. I don't like spending too much on them because it's a waste. So I'll just throw a couple, see what I hit. If I don't hit something good, I'll quit. You can also just sell it, but I'm also looking for delirium orbs. So like these guys here find delirium orbs. What are they worth? I find a lot of them. Got none in that map, but so they're over 20 per. So you get, on a good one, you get 2-3 of those every time you run it. So most of these little strand maps I'm doing, I'm getting a couple of delirium orbs. I'm saying I'm averaging 2 per map probably, because sometimes you get 3 or 4. Sometimes you get none. Sometimes you get 1. But I'm probably averaging 2. And they can be worth like 20 chaos. Some of the cheaper ones are worth 10 chaos. So between finding a bunch of good scarabs, a bunch of that, conqueror maps, even without any scarabs used in my strat right now, just because I'm just leveling this guy as easy as I can, making probably 30-40 chaos per map, like nothing, every 3-4 minutes. I would have been done way faster if I hadn't died, and that was a tough map with Enfeeble. So pretty good strat. So it's a fun character. It keeps the keep your corpses down, your generals crying, your totem guys are working. It's just all around good stuff. So it'll work just fine next league. It doesn't rely on mercenaries or any of the new stuff that may or may not be there. I guarantee, almost guarantee, I can't 100% guarantee, but they haven't messed with this kind of build in forever. I don't see them starting to. You can put this together super cheap next league and still have really a good league start with it. You can't beat this league start. As soon as you get Brutus's Lead Sprinkler, your damage goes way up. What I do on the way there until I can get Crown of Eyes is a level 69 item, I think. Yeah. So until I can get to 69 and use Crown of Eyes, I just take these fire nodes right here. Increase fire damage, increase fire damage, increase fire damage, increase fire damage, and penetration. And those 4 offensive increased nodes, along with strength and Brutus's Lead Sprinkler, is literally all you need to get you all the way through the campaign and starting into white maps. Get your first couple chaos, buy this, allocate this, and you're off and running. Your damage will quadruple instantly. It'll go from 5,000 damage to 25,000 tooltip, just like that, even with no other gear on. Get yourself an Iron Fortress, 4-link it as soon as you can, with your General's Cry, your auto exertion, your attack, and probably elemental damage with attacks, and have that as your 4-link. And bam, you got good totems. Get yourself the Dawn Strider. They'll be available instantaneously, and you'll be off and running, ready to rock. So hopefully if you like this goofy little build guide, it's kind of memey, it's kind of fun, kind of different. Looks cool. And if you do, please hit the like and subscribe down below, and thanks for watching.